Lord, the cloud. So you can always have me to pray with in the afternoons. Ah, I love praying. I just do. Okay, are we set up here? Facebook, we're on. And I will go back to our Tifillah. Ah, there we are. So, hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday. Or maybe you keep watching this on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbat, Sunday. Always time to pray, right? But we begin our tefillah together, even though we are not in a synagogue, any place that we stop, take deep breaths, and think about things that are larger than ourselves, right? Think about the universe. Think about God. That's a hard thing to contemplate, to think about things that are beyond ourselves. And it's even easier if we think about our community and our loved ones. That's where we find God's presence. And so, even though we're not in a synagogue, we're in our sacred spaces, wherever they may be. Maybe some of you are outside. I was outside a lot today. But let's begin our prayers together by reading this entry, this kavanah, as we say, our intention. May the door of this synagogue, or your home, or nature, be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, and hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. Oh, wow, big words today. May its threshold not be a stumbling block, too young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. And may this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. So we can forget about the poetic big words that we just read and concentrate on this last line. May this synagogue, or let's say this time we have in the next 20, 25 minutes, be for all who enter and participate a doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. So we begin our prayers with, yes, a song we all know, but also a passage from King David's Psalms, right? As we talked about last week, this is from the 133rd Psalm of how many are in the book of Psalms? 150, right? So you never know what kind of gems are in the book of Psalms that we sing all the time that we just never know where they come from. So we'll start. Let's start with this one today. הנה מה טוב ובנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ובנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לי, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לי, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ובנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ובנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. I'm playing a new guitar, a different guitar, not a new one. It's a very, very actually old guitar today. So got to get used to it a little bit. So friends, we enter this space by saying a blessing for studying Torah. And this blessing starts the way most blessings do, right? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, right? We know that. Blessed are you, Adonai, Lord our God, King or ruler, I like to say, of the universe, who has commanded us, given us the special commandment to la'asok. We talked about that, this Hebrew word right here. It means to busy, right? When you used to call on a phone, on a landline, you guys don't even remember, and you got in Hebrew, it would say la'asok, right? It would say, it's busy. The line is busy. Sorry, call back. We don't have this problem, right? We can FaceTime, we can call waiting, we can, Google chat, we can do everything at the same time right now. But the point is, let's la'asok b'divrei Torah, get busy with words of Torah. So we sing together. we rise for our formal call to prayer when everyone comes together as we sing Baruch Hu. We begin together. La 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 la. Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach. And all together we sing Baruch Adonai Hamevorach, Hamevorach Le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. So even though it's Tuesday afternoon, we like to gather and practice our Shabbat morning prayers. A lot of the prayers we know are said every single day and Shabbat and on special holidays. But let's read about this. Let's read this poem about Shabbat and why it's so special between us and the people of Israel and God. One Shabbat came to God to complain. Every day of the week has a partner. Sunday goes with Monday, Tuesday goes with Wednesday, and Thursday goes with Friday. Only I don't have a partner. And God replied, the people of Israel will be your partner. So there's Ahad Ha'am, this rabbi, I believe he was a rabbi, who said, more than the people kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the people. And what does that mean, right? What does that mean? It means that Shabbat has been the glue, right, that connects Jews all over the world. And even if you're religious or not religious, we still have this concept of time that during the week we work and we strive and we try to do tikkun olam and make the place better. But on Shabbat, Baruch Hashem, thank God, we rest and we stay in gratitude and we don't create. We just say things are the way they are and we're grateful for them. And you know what? Of course, we say on Shabbat and every other day how wonderful and grateful we are for God's creation of the world, or else we wouldn't be here. And you see this word up here, or chadash, means a new light. How do we wake up every morning and say, it's a new day, a new light? What surprises are going to happen to me today? And we remember the three themes before we say the Shema, right? Creation, revelation, redemption. And here we are at creation. You see here, Yotzer Or, who fashions the light, who creates light. So let's sing the Chatima, right? The signature blessing of each prayer. That's what that's called. And we sing Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. And of course, we have revelation. What was revealed to us? On the next slide, it's one of my favorite pages because it has this beautiful picture of a Sefer Torah with flowers blooming out of it. And what do the flowers symbolize? Well, the flowers might symbolize the words, our history, the Torah, but I think the flowers are you. I think the flowers are me. I think the flowers is generations and generations of keeping our Torah alive, because we do it in what? In love, in ahava. And so we sing Baruch Atah Adonai Abocher B'Amo Yisrael Be'ahava. Well, that picture's not on this slide. We'll find that picture. And then we concentrate together. Some close their eyes, some cover their eyes. You can look at the text, but the main thing is that we are reminded we are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Then we add Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one, and blessed is God's majestic creation of the world. And we continue with the Hebrew. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And we say Adonai Elohechem emet. So I did promise you that we would kind of unpack all that Hebrew text. What does it mean? So we say we need to love God, right? With all of our heart, soul, and might. But how do we love God? Let's read together. We love God when we do good deeds each day. Help us, God, to show you our love in every way. How do we love God with all of our hearts? We love God with all our hearts when we love other people. Help us, God, to respect everyone, to speak kind words, and to listen well. Oops. How do we love God with all of our minds, our sechel, our smarts? We love God with all our minds when we study Torah. Help us, God, to learn your Torah. How do we love God with all of our strength? We love God when we share what we have. Helping others is the way we love God with all of our strength. Help us, God, to be people who give tzedakah. You guys know what tzedakah is. It comes from the word tzedek, which means righteousness. And how are we righteous? When we give tzedakah, when we give charity, whether that's money or time or a commitment to others. Eternal our God, we want to show you we love you through all of our deeds. May our love make the world a better place, a kind of world you meant it to be when you created us. You know, that's why God rested on Shabbat and said, we've got to rest too, because this world isn't complete. Nope, it's up to us. It's up to us with the help of your friends and family and even the angels and maybe God too, to keep continuing to create a world that we want to live in. And so here we are at our redemption prayer when we were redeemed from Egypt. And this passage comes right from the Torah in Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea. When you know the story, the Israelites were fine. Well, they weren't Israelites yet, right? The ex-Hebrew slaves were on their way to the Holy Land, but then there was the Sea of Reeds, but they were courageous and didn't look back at first. And then they took a step and the sea parted. And so we sing Mi Chamocha. I promise we do another melody this week. So let's sing. Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh, Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh. Norah Tehilot, Osef Melech, Norah passage, part of that text that wasn't on this page. But Micha Mocha does continue, and it says, Sur Yisrael, that's rock of Israel, our strength. Kuma Bezerat Yisrael, Uvdechinu Mecha Yehuda veYisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael. And that means rock of Israel, our strength. Please save us and redeem us, you holy, holy people, holy God of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai God Yisrael. And we know this story. Long ago, we were slaves in Egypt, and after 10 horrible, terrible plagues, Pharaoh what? Finally told Moses that we could be free. We sang Mi Chamocha, who is like you, Adonai. Today there are people we know that are still not free. We promise that with your help, we will work hard to make sure that everyone is set free. Then all the world will sing with joy. And so, my friends, we have come to our standing Amidah prayer, right? Amidah comes from the word la'amod, which means to stand. And wow, you know, as I'm talking about standing, I just don't see or feel just the physical sensation of standing up. It goes a little bit deeper, right? When we stand together as a community and individually, we're saying we stand up for something. We stand up for our people. We stand up for our freedoms. We stand up for our rights. We stand up for all those who can't stand for themselves. And that's what our Amidah teaches us. Now, we know that during the weekday, if we weren't pretending it was Shabbat, we would be doing 19 blessings. That's right, within our standing prayer. But we are practicing for when we go to shul, when we come to synagogue and temple on Shabbat, where there are how many blessings within that Shabbat Amidah? There are 7. And how can we remember that? 7 days, days of the week. But what's the 7th day? The holy day of Shabbos or Shabbat. So let's take those 3 steps back as we physically prepare ourselves to enter our space to speak to God. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. This is the prayer for our fathers and our mothers, Avot ve'imahot, our ancestral fathers and mothers. El Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Koneh Hakol Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot U'Mevii Geula Livnei B'nehem Lema'an Shemo be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Sometimes when I talk to God, I feel connected to something from long, long ago, something that makes me feel safe, that lets me know I am never alone. And now the blessing for God's power, Givurot. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayeh hakol atarav lehoshia. Mashiva ruach umorid hagashem mechalkel chayim bechesed mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim somech noflim verofe cholim umatir asurim umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha. We just sang that. Ba'al gevurot u'midom elach melech meimit u'mechayeh ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. And now, Kedusha, right? You are holy. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. I know you guys love standing on your tippy toes, pretending you're the holy angels. That's what we do. Oh, and look, here's my favorite photo or picture of, not a photo, it's a little painting here of the Torah with brachim, with flowers of future hope and generations to bloom. So we sing our Kedusha blessing, the one we do on Shabbat. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, kakatuv al yad neviacha, vekara zel ze ve'amar. I meant the melody we do on Shabbat here at Temple Israel. And then we rise, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu Adonai, Adonenu Ma'adir, Shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Echadu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav Le'nei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai Leolam, Elohai Yichzion, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah, Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Oh my goodness, if you were standing that entire time, guess what? You're supposed to stand the entire time. In fact, you're supposed to stand for 4 more blessings, but you can be seated, and it's okay if you were seated because we are just sort of practicing prayer, even though I hope you're finding some parts of the prayer that are speaking to your heart this afternoon. So my friends, then, and this is often a reading we do about the holiness and the more blessings, which we will get to eventually. But let's go to the final blessing here of, I promise you, we're going to learn all these blessings throughout this year. But what is the last blessing that every single Amidah at the end has? For peace, for shalom. So let's read this together. What does peace look like? It looks like Jacob and Esau hugging after many years spent years apart. It looks like 2 countries signing a peace treaty. It looks like Rebekah comforting Isaac after the death of his mother, Sarah. What does peace sound like? It sounds like kind words on a bad day. And it sounds like, oops, oh no. Let's go back. Uh-oh. There we go. It sounds like a sincere apology and a promise to try harder. It sounds like people who are different trying to understand each other. Wow, we need to hear more peace like that. What does peace feel like? It feels like Joseph's tears when he is reunited with his brothers. Remember that story? And it feels like people going outside without being afraid. It feels like everything is going to be okay. What a beautiful picture of what peace can look like, sound like, feel like. So here's the Chatima, the signature blessing of our Shabbat Amidah. We sing, Baruch Atah Adonai, HaMevarech et Amo Yisrael b'shalom. And let's conclude our Tifillah today with singing for peace. Oh, say shalom, Hallelujah, I say shalom aleinu, ve'avo Yisrael, ve'iru amen. Ya I say shalom, ya I say shalom, shalom. shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon for our Tuesday Tifillah. Stop sharing my slides now. And I'm going to announce that next Tuesday, actually starting this Sunday too, you will be able to join me in this Zoom room. So I'm not all by myself. I mean, I know I'm not by myself because you're all with me watching on Facebook, but I would love to have you in the Zoom room so we can pray and sing together and I can answer your questions and we can have some deep, juicy discussions about God and the world and religion, right? Don't you want to have that with me? I miss those. So anyway, starting on Sunday for our All School Tefillah, and then next week, you'll be able to join me every Tuesday. So friends, in Hebrew, what is that word we say? We don't say goodbye. We don't say shalom. We say lehit ra'ot is see you later. Lehit ra'ot, stay safe and be well and enjoy all of your blessings. Lehit ra'ot, bye.